What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Josh, and in this week's episode of Wednesday Watchlist, I am going to be discussing just a few things that I have recently watched over this past week. The first of which is we're going to discuss the new Netflix show Pop the Balloon Live, and then we're going to talk about the new season of Black Mirror. And then the last topic on the docket for today's video is just my thoughts on the Talk to Me movie. I recently saw this movie. It is now on Netflix. So we only have 3 things to go over in this week's video, so it might be a little bit shorter. But without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right on into my thoughts on the Netflix Pop the Balloon Live show. So firstly, I did not know that Netflix was doing this, but I was never a fan of the original Pop the Balloon, or I guess you could call it that. That version to me, even though I didn't like it, it seemed superior to the Netflix version. Like the videos on YouTube that we see, and of course the ones that went viral, they just seemed a lot more original and a lot better than what Netflix is doing. And the reason why is because this show, it just doesn't seem as entertaining to me or like as funny. And again, I don't like the original Pop the Balloon or like the indie Pop the Balloon videos. I never liked those. I always thought they were just unserious. But the Netflix version of this, I don't know how, but it seems somehow worse. The host of the show is Yvonne or Jai. I apologize if I mispronounced that, but she has been in a couple other shows. She was in, most notably, Insecure with Issa Rae on HBO. She was in that show. She played Molly, and then she was also in a Black Lady sketch show, which is also an HBO show, and she was funny in both of those shows. Like, she can do comedy, she can do humor very well, but here, in this show, it just doesn't work. Like, she's trying to make jokes, she's trying to like make hip, relevant jokes, but they just don't land. She's just not funny, at least in this first episode. And I think it's because partially the delivery and also because of the context of this show. This is a live show, so it's not rehearsed, it's not pre-recorded or anything like that. Her trying to make these jokes, like her delivery at times is good, but at other times, like she's getting interrupted or the other person is talking over her. Because for those of you who have not seen Pop the Balloon is basically this, I guess you could call it show or like video thing, where anywhere between 8 to 10 women line up like on a stage, and the host of the show brings out different men who are contestants for the show. It's basically a dating show, and the women pop their balloons if they're not interested in the man that is brought out onto the stage. Yvonne trying to host this, like trying to be the host and also trying to make jokes and also trying to land those jokes, like it just doesn't work. And again, I think it's because of the context and also like slightly the delivery, because with the first guest she brought out in this first episode, he was consistently like interrupting her, talking over her, and she was even like alluding to this. She was like, this is my show, like whose name is on that bus? Like she was doing it in a joking manner, but like she was also like genuinely like, hey, like you can't take this over, like this is my show. And I think that's why her jokes and her trying to be funny just doesn't work, is because it is totally relying on whoever she's bringing out, right? Like we saw that with this first guy. He was constantly talking over her, making jokes himself. Like he essentially like took over for a minute. And so I feel like that's why her ability to be funny and her joke delivery and stuff like that just doesn't work, is because it's relying on these people and whoever she brings out. Like if the person she brings out is respectful and doesn't talk over her, interrupt her, or try to take the spotlight off of her, then it works. But as we saw again with the first guy that she brought out in this first episode, it just doesn't work because it's again live. None of this is rehearsed, so like anything could happen here. And I think that's especially why some of her jokes just don't work and they don't land. I'm gonna give her grace here because again, she can be funny and she is funny, especially in Insecure and a Black Lady sketch show. Like this woman can be funny. I just feel like maybe because this is a live show, like she maybe isn't used to this sort of format, or she's trying to navigate her way through this. I don't know, but I'm gonna give her grace on that. We technically already had our first controversy with this show. In this first episode, the first guy that she brings out, I forget what happens exactly, but there's a lady, this lady, I think she's in a blue pantsuit, she's kind of tall. She says something to the guy that I guess like upset or hurt his feelings, and he snapped back at her and he said something about how she looks like she sleeps hanging from a tree upside down or something like that. I guess he was trying to say that she looked like an animal or something like that. And obviously people ran with this, so it's like this is already like a controversy that's happening. This is the problem with a certain show like this, is that when things are live, you can't control like what happens. Like I'm sure every contestant they bring out, they're like, okay, you can't say this, this, and this, this, and this. So I'm sure like things like that do happen, but I'm also sure because it's Netflix, they vet the people that they're bringing onto the show. This type of show quickly devolves into just insults flying across the room. Like there's another guy they bring out later, he's got on like a button down and everybody's making fun of his shirt. I didn't think anything was wrong with his shirt. It did look more like a Vegas for the weekend kind of shirt, but like as soon as I think one lady brought it up, a whole bunch of ladies just popped their balloon because of the shirt he's wearing. And then somebody commented on his hairline and how his hairline was so high and she didn't think it was that high, and is what made her pop her balloon. That problem is not unique to the Netflix version of this show. Like that is a problem with this show in its entirety, right? Pop the balloon videos on YouTube and this new Netflix live version all have the problem of the fact that it quickly devolves into nothing but insults flying across the room. Things get very nasty and very messy very quickly, and again we see that in these YouTube videos of Pop the Balloon, and that is again finding its way into this Netflix version. So I can't really fault the Netflix version for that. That's the reason why I don't like this show, like even the YouTube versions or the Netflix version, is because it's like it quickly devolves into nothing but hurtful, mean insults. But one thing that I can accredit the, like, I guess you could say YouTube version of this show with versus the Netflix version is the YouTube version felt a lot more original. As I was watching this first episode of this Netflix version, Yvonne is asking all the ladies like, what do you do? Where are you from? Like the general questions. And as we go down the list, it's like every single lady that's on this first episode, they all say the same thing. Oh, I'm a content creator. Oh, I'm a digital creator. Oh, I work with social media. And it quickly becomes a constant theme where it's like every lady that's up here like works in social media, or she's a content creator, or she somehow has like an audience or a fan base. When she starts bringing out the men, it's like almost the same thing. Like it's men who have been on game shows. We see a guy that's actually been on a Netflix show. He's on Too Hot to Handle. So it quickly turns into this thing where it's like, to me, it felt like they were all just a bunch of influencers, and it didn't feel like they were just genuine people that were like plucked off the sidewalk. Versus the YouTube version, from what I've seen, I haven't seen a lot, but from what I've seen, the YouTube version of the show seemed to be more people plucked randomly off the sidewalk. The YouTube version felt like, again, people were just randomly selected off the street, versus the Netflix version, it feels like they did a big casting call, had a bunch of auditions, and then they chose people from that group. And it just doesn't feel as genuine to me. Like it just doesn't feel as original or as unique. Like it literally, to me, just felt like a show for people to network on and like also maybe find somebody to date. Like at least in this first episode, that's what it felt like to me. I don't like the original version of Pop the Balloon. Like I don't like either version, the Netflix or the original. But one thing I can again credit to the original is it just felt a lot more genuine and a lot more sincere. And it didn't feel like the people came on this show because they wanted to network or grow their fan base, or they were chosen because of how many followers they have. It felt like they were randomly chosen. I don't like this show like at all. Like again, I don't like either version, but especially the Netflix version, like, okay, yeah, I'm glad that like Netflix picked up this indie show, and then hopefully whoever came up with this concept is getting some money off of this. I'm glad that that's happening. But in the same tone, like Netflix needs to like come up with some fresh ideas. That's just my thoughts on this. Let me know, are you guys gonna watch this? Did you guys watch this? What did you guys think about this? And then moving on, we finally have a new season of Black Mirror season 7, and I've watched the entire season. I have to say this season is by far one of the best. Like this season is so good. I definitely think this is again one of the best seasons we've had in years. Like this feels like Black Mirror is back. Like this feels like old Black Mirror, good Black Mirror is back. Like I feel like they've found their stride again. The writers are writing, like it's giving what needs to be gave essentially. And so this season is just so good. We've got I think 7 episodes in this season. Everything is good here, right? Like the recent, I'd say 2 seasons of Black Mirror were kind of iffy. They like weren't the best. It still has the dystopian feel, but because of where we're at, like as a society as a whole, like it doesn't feel so far off, if that makes sense. And I feel like they've done a very good job like parodying modern society, but also like stretching it to a length that still feels dystopic and cryptic, versus I feel like in the last 2 seasons they kind of struggle with that a bit, but here I feel like they've really found their stride. My favorite episode of this new season, I would say, is Eulogy, and I would say a close second is the USS Callister, I think it's To Infinity episode. Both of these, I would say, are the best episodes of this season. There's no bad episodes this season. Like, I'm gonna just be real with you. No episode this season is bad. Like, they're all good. But I would say, like, if I had to pick a favorite, I would definitely go with Eulogy. I just feel like the story that's told in Eulogy is just so heartfelt and heartwarming. And it just really makes you think. And so I really liked that episode. It really connected with me. And again, the USS Callister To Infinity episode is also super good. This is actually a sequel to the original USS Callister episode. I forget what season it's from, but these two are kind of like movies is essentially what's happening. The original USS Callister episode is like an hour and some change long. It's basically like a movie. And then this one is essentially like a sequel to that. They feel like movies essentially, and they've done very well. As far as like this being technically like a sequel to a movie, it's done very well. And it really like follows up on the plot from the first episode. The dots are connected. Everything works here. And it keeps you engaged, right? Like it doesn't just drag on to me. Like everything kept me engaged. I had to go back and rewatch the original USS Callister episode because I had low-key forgot like what all happened. Like I remember the main plot points, but like I have forgot the like some details. So I just went back and I rewatched that, and then I watched this new episode. Everything flowed nicely. Everything was picked up essentially right where we left off. It's so good that Black Mirror is like back. Like it just feels like this season again, they really found their stride again. This new season to me is easily one of the best of recent years. Like this is, again, it's so good. If you like older Black Mirror, like Nosedive, USS Callister, some of those episodes, like if you like the earlier seasons of Black Mirror, you'll really like this new season. It really taps into what those seasons had going on, and it nicely ties it into, again, parodying modern society, but stretching it far enough where it still feels dystopic. And it's good. It's done very well, and I really like this season. So yeah, if you like Black Mirror, go check out the new season on Netflix. And then lastly, I watched the A24 movie Talk to Me. This movie is also on Netflix. I guess you could call this past week like my Netflix week. This movie I did not go see in theaters, but I'm glad that I watched it because it is a good horror film. I will say it's not as scary as I would like. I often mix up the terms thriller and horror, but I would have to say this to me feels like it leans a little bit into thriller more than horror. Like there are horror elements, but I feel like it leans more into the thriller side of things. I like the cast of this movie. I like the story. I like the plot. I like all of it. I think it's a really good horror movie. For those of you who have not seen the trailer for this movie or you don't know what it's essentially about a group of teens that are, I guess you could say, experimenting with this like hand of like a psychic or like somebody who could communicate with the dead. This hand, like whoever touches it, they just say, "Talk to me," and they start seeing like a dead person or dead people, and then they say, "I let you in," and then they get possessed by whatever entity they see. And so it focuses around these group of teens experimenting with that, and then things quickly go off the rails. Things quickly turn sour real quick, real fast when the rules get broken, and we see the consequences of that play out over this film. And I'd say it's a really good movie. If you like horror movies, I would definitely check this one out. My only critiques is that it just wasn't as scary as I would like it to be. So if you like horror movies, definitely go check this one out. Again, it's called Talk to Me, and it is on Netflix right now. One more thing is we got a trailer for the new and upcoming season of Love, Death, and Robots. I forget when this season's coming out, but it's coming out this year, and this season looks, again, so good. I'm glad Netflix is doing more like sci-fi dystopia shows. Like I'm really glad they're still tapping into that again with this new season of Black Mirror, this new season of Love, Death, and Robots coming up. One thing I would absolutely love to see from Netflix is another season of Oats Studios. This, I believe, is like animated films that were on, I think, YouTube or by this studio, I think it's called Oat Studios, that Netflix put on their streaming platform. That show is really good. There's only one season of it, and I don't know if we'll ever get another, but I would love to see another season of that show. If you haven't seen the new trailer for the upcoming season of Love, Death, and Robots, go check that out. But yeah, that's going to be it for this week's episode of Wednesday Watchlist. I apologize that it is a little bit shorter than all my other episodes, but I should have more content to discuss in next week's episode. This week just got a little hectic for me, so I apologize that it's a little bit shorter, but I hope you guys enjoyed, and please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And again, feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below on everything I discussed in today's video, and that is going to be it. So I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye!